5-0, right? See, it looks like in an in-between channel. There you go. Okay, we got it, Paul. Okay, let's start it back up if we can. I don't know if you're running, but put the audio on in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome to the Turkey Day Classic. This is Jim Quinn along with Hank Feen and Tony D'Orazio. We've got Millville Vineland football action for you on your local cable TV channel. Millville High School, Vineland High School football being brought to you by United Jersey Bank, Cumberland National, the fast-moving bank, by Executive Business Supply, 210 Landis Avenue in Vineland, by Risley's Video Center, Wheaton Plaza Shopping Center in Millville, by the Newcomb Medical Center, a friend for life on State Street in Vineland, by Jiffy Lube, Park Avenue and Delsey Drive in Vineland, by the Waltman Agency, 135 North High Street in Millville, your independent insurance agent, by the Lurco Oil Company, 520 Chestnut Avenue in Vineland, by Dr. Jim Beebe's Millville Chiropractic Center, 1014 North High Street in Millville, by Minatola National Bank with 5 convenient offices in the Vineland area to serve you, including the newest office at Chestnut Avenue and Holly Hill Terrace, just about ready to open, by Bim's Pizzeria, 618 East Main Street in Millville, by the Vineland Chiropractic Center, 78 West Park Avenue at the corner of Park and West in Vineland, by Cumberland County College, where early registration for the spring semester is now going on through December the 19th from 9 to 4 daily at the college. And we'd like to remind the Vineland viewers right after today's game, you'll see a special program on the New Jersey Youth Corps, a public service program about the New Jersey Youth Corps, headquartered here in Vineland, but certainly eligible for all of Cumberland County. The Millville High School band is coming out on the field, and before the band comes out, Tony, how about a quick rundown of that Vineland starting alignment?
Okay, Jim, thanks a lot. It's another exciting game. It's everybody knows in Millville and Vineland how many games are being played, that this will be the 122nd game starting in 1894. And breakdown, of course, Vineland 156 and Millville's 147 and 18 ties. From the looks of the crowd, maybe it'll come close to one of the crowds we had in the old days.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
We're talking about 5,000. One time I understand even 9,000. The Vineland starting lineup is basically the same thing. Vineland hasn't had any injuries reported. And offense, we're probably going to have Mike Mays, number 83, a senior, 5'7", 165. Rich Scarpa at tackle, senior, 5'9", 190. Rick Granozzi, number 72, a junior, 6 foot, 220 pounds. At center, Ray Greif, number 54, a senior, 6 foot, 195 pounds. He's a center. He kicks back to the last game against Cumberland. He kicked extra points, and he also kicks off. Guard, number 75, Al Giordano, a senior, 6 foot, 240 pounds. Number 50, Tony Ball, another junior, 5'10", 170, and Gene Scarpa, senior, 6'3", 220. He doesn't catch many passes from back here. Caught very many passes this year. He's had 6 for 54 yards, but he can catch the ball if they throw it to him, and he does a heck of a job at end, and he really does a nice blocking job. Of course, a quarterback, Bud Piccone, number 11, a junior, 5'11", 163. He's done an excellent job for Vineland. This is his first season, and right from the beginning, he's done a great job. We're also at number 34, of course, Ron Rogers is a senior, 5'9", 173. A fast breakaway back through the line, around the end, doesn't really make any difference. Number 32, Steve Rizzo, a senior, 6 foot, 185 pounds. You really can't say too much about Rizzo. He's another excellent back. Those are the starters. And on offense.
Okay, Hank, how about the offensive starting lineup for Millville?
Okay, thanks, Jim. Starting at tight end today, number 33, Gene DeMoret, a 5'11", 183-pound sophomore. At left tackle, number 70, Marty Milbourne, a 6'2", 223-pound senior. Jody Farabella will be at left guard. Jody wears number 52, 5'10", 162-pound junior. Jared Walker, the veteran, will be at 5'11", 5'8", 151 junior, getting his first start of the season. At right tackle, number 77, Rick Wilden, a 6 foot, 206-pound sophomore. Kerry McNear will be one wide out, wearing number 87, a 6'3", 185-pound junior. And Morris Fitzpatrick, number 11, a 5'9", 159-pound junior. The running backs will be number 44, Tim Allen, a 6 foot, 182-pound junior, and Bill Gaskins, a 6 foot, 158-pound junior. And at quarterback, senior Rich Grimm, a 5'11", 142-pound senior.
Okay, we're going to let you enjoy the Millville High School Marching Band. Our video provided by Television, and Bob Reese, the down cameraman, Alan Wenzel, our up man. And we hope you'll enjoy the double camera operation. We thank Tony DiTomo, Athletic Director at Vineland High, for allowing us the privilege to be able to televise with 2 cameras, and we hope you'll enjoy it. Let's listen to the Millville High School Marching Band.
Experience under his belt for this year, I'm not so sure they would beat Richmond the whole year. And that was the difference. That kid should I think they'll surprise more people next year. He had the nucleus of the whole team except for the rest of the team for the Paris. It didn't work. Not this level. What happened was this league got stronger this year.
Tony Durazio, Hank Feen, back here at the Tony Stadium in Vineland, where the Millville Washington in 1986 as the Giants band was known as the they'll be appearing. I'll be right here. Your way to the rowdy says touch the luck on the field. Players will go out and touch that, but they're getting ready to introduce the senior cheerleaders and the players. Tony, why don't you pick up the introduction of these players? Tell us who they are, the cheerleaders behind the list here.
Closing out your career, huh, Scott? You got to give him credit.
4
say about the Millville seniors and the Millville senior cheerleaders. The Millville seniors that will be playing in their last game here for the Turkey Day Classic are Mike Smith. Harold Camper will not be playing, but he is a senior, and he's got an injury to the kidney and will not be playing, and Millville will greatly miss his great speed and his fine running ability. And Harold has been an outstanding player for Millville all year long. Quarterback Richie Grimm will be playing his last game. Another sad missed person who's limping out on the field now, co-captain Scott Sorrentino, who broke his ankle the last play of the game and is probably one of the finest football players to ever play at Millville High School. Jared Walker, William Gaskins, Brian Scarlotta, and Ray Johnson. And senior cheerleaders are Debbie Meandro and Cheryl Goldstein. And you see the co-captains out on the field for Vineland. They are Ronnie Rogers and also Craig Sacchetti. And for Millville, the co-captains Richie Grimm, along with Jared Walker, I believe, is out there representing Millville as a co-captain, and Scott Sorrentino out with his cast on his foot, shaking hands with the co-captains today. I don't have a list. Tony, do you have the list of the officials by any chance?
No.
Joe Riley usually provides those for me at Millville, but we don't have a list of the officials. But I will say, so far this season, we have seen outstanding officiating in all the Millville games that we've seen. And Tony, I don't know how the Vineland games have been, but we've been impressed this year.
Yeah, I really have any complaints about the officiating. You know, it's the same. The big problem, I think, comes most of the time with that one use of the hands from behind. So it used to be clipping. When you got clipped, you knew you were clipped. But now it's just if you touch somebody in the back. In fact, that Holy Spirit game, Mike Murray intercepted a pass, went 52 yards for a touchdown. He had a man beside him blocking, and he didn't really, well, in terms of clipping, you wouldn't say it was a clip, but he did put his hands on the back of the Holy Spirit man. The run was called back, and of course, Vineland lost 7-6.
Vineland has won the toss, and they will receive and defend the east goal, and Millville will kick from the west. Of course, the wind may be a factor today, Hank. It's blowing fairly brisk at this point.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be a little bit of a factor, Jim. I'm sure it won't be the final factor in who wins the football game. It's really not that much of a factor. I look for a good football game today. I think whichever defense can play the best football game today is going to win. Both teams in the past 4 games, they've won 4 in a row, each team. And maybe we'll stop here, Jim. I think we're going to have the playing of the national anthem.
Okay.
Oh, God, Debbie. You would be excusing the Antonio's grace why you didn't take him here. What the way things are.
Yeah.
Millville Vineland football, what better way to spend a Turkey Day? A beautiful sunny Thanksgiving too, and from Hank and Tony and I, a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. This is the 120th known game. Vineland holds the edge, 57, Millville 45 wins, and 18 ties between the two teams. It dates back 92 years, and it's the 100th birthday for Vineland football, and Millville coming out will kick off. And Vineland will be back to receive the kick, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff of today's Vineland-Millville Turkey Day Classic on your local cable TV channel right after this. Cable television channel is a Jim Quinn Associates production. Call television at 327-3188. We'd like to remind you that early registration for Cumberland County College's spring semester will be conducted from 9 to 4 in the college records office through December the 19th. Getting ready to kick off will be Buster Allen for the Thunderbolts, and
Tim Jones is back there. Tim Jones and Steve Rizzo back for the kick now.
Okay, Tony, thank you. And the 1986 121st meeting of these two squads just about ready to get underway. The referee's whistle, and here is the opening kickoff. It's a squibber taken by one of the upmen who falls on the football at the 26-yard line. It looks like number 24, who's not on my program.
Well, you know, they do have a lot of freshmen and junior varsity players. Vineland has a big squad out there, and number 24, I'd start talk about that. But it's one of the players that's not on the original roster yet.
Okay, my apologies to number 24, but we have no idea who you are. You're not listed in the program. Coming wide out on the left side is number 43, Al Nanny. Also split out on the left, number 85, Dean Scarpa. We've got a split backfield behind Piccone. Hands it off. First man coming through, who's Ronnie Rogers. Good running across the 30 up to about the 34-yard line.
Yeah. Rogers quick into the line of scrimmage, straight ahead dive play on that play, Jim. And the right side of the offensive line for Vineland, and Rogers getting off the ball very well.
Well, he does that a lot, Hank. And he can go through there. In fact, he did that the first play against Cumberland. Came through the left side and went about 65 yards.
Coming wide out now on the left, we've got Steve Rizzo. Also out on the left, Dean Scarpa. Split backfield behind quarterback Buddy Piccone. Piccone calling the signals. Hands it off again to Rogers. Rogers off the right side. Looks like he has a first down across the 35 up to about the 38-yard line.
That time we're running a wide slot, Tony, out to the wide side of the field, the strong side of the field, and again coming back with that straight ahead play to the short side or weak side to pick up the first down.
Al Nanny comes in the ball game for the Fighting Clan.
Yeah, Al Nanny made the press the other day on one of the best play of the year on a pass from Piccone to Nanny. It was like a pro play.
Mike May splits wide out on the right side. Coming out here on the left is Al Nanny. We have a split backfield behind the quarterback, Buddy Piccone. Piccone calling the signals. He hands it off again to the workhorse, Ronnie Rogers, and Rogers is stacked up this time after about a yard. It was Doug White's son, Doug White coming in and making the tackle for Millville.
Millville sending both linebackers that time. DeMorat was able to get real good penetration, and had the runner not slipped on that play, Millville would have still thrown him for the loss.
Remember, we have a second down and 9. Give them a yard on that play. The ball at the 39-yard line. Millville defensively, he's got Jody Farabelle, Bill Veach, Bob Fulver, Jared Walker, Tim Allen, Scott McConnell, Eugene DeMorat across that front with the linebackers included. Darren White, Sam Allen, Joe Felice, Carey, Chip McNear, and Tim Allen, the deep backs for Millville. Piccone calling the signals. He pitches it wide, coming around the right side of Steve Rizzo. Rizzo with some running room. Gets up close to the 45. Let's see where they mark him down. I guess it's going to be around the 43-yard line as we see the official there. Buster Allen, one of the people over there to drive him out of bounds for Millville, and also Scott McConnell, linebacker number 84.
That's one of the diversified aspects of this attack because they will. You can go, Rizzo can go outside or inside, Rogers can go inside or outside, and Piccone, of course, has really been throwing a nice pass lately. His percentage has really been high, and you don't know what to look for, and that's going to be the thing. And it can be a long pass and it can be a short pass. And Piccone's been keeping the ball and scrambling.
Yeah, what I look for, they run that slot almost every time, and the Vineland receivers have some pretty good height, unlike the Millville defensive backs. We'll have to see how the Millville defensive backs can stay with people like Scarpa.
Piccone calling the signals with a split backfield. Piccone back to pass. He's being rushed. He's under pressure. He's running and he's dropped there at the 32-yard line. Jared Walker and Bob Fulver in there to bring him down, and they're certainly enthusiastic about that sack.
Yeah, when you have a rush like that, a defensive rush like that, you really don't have to worry about too much what happens downfield, you know, and how tall the receivers are and how tall the defensive back. Great rush by Millville that time, and there was good coverage also downfield by the defensive secondary.
Dean Scarpa is going to do the punting, but the officials have asked for time for equipment. One of the Millville players doing an equipment adjustment. And now they're ready to go. Scarpa is standing about his own 17-yard line. Great rifle. He was snapping. A snap is a good one, and there is a low kick. Morris Fitzpatrick looks at it, he's going to let it bounce, and it's going to die at about the 30-yard line. So Millville will take over their first series of downs at the 30, their own 30-yard line.
Okay, Millville has been able to do what very few teams in the last 4 weeks anyway have been able to do, Jim, and that's stop Vineland cold on their first drive. Vineland has to turn around, Tony, I think, and do the same thing now. Millville has been another team that's been able to score a lot of points in the past 4 weeks. Now in this series, Vineland's defense is going to have to assert themselves.
Well, I'll contradict you later.
Okay.
Chip McNear and Morris Fitzpatrick split wide on the left side, top of your screen. Split backfield. The handoff goes to the first man coming through is Skeet Gaskins, and Gaskins takes it up to about the 33. yard line. In on the stop for Vineland High was number 50. Don't tell me he's not in the program, too.
Tony Hall.
Who is it?
Tony Hall. Yeah,
sorry.
Tony Hall's in there on defense. He also plays on offense.
Yeah, there I see him.
But like this, as I said about contradicting Hank, Vineland's always seemed to start out slow, though. Except that Cumberland game. Yeah, even on defense. Then the adjustments were made. They watched Joe Paterno make the adjustments on defense.
Chip McNair and Morris Fitzpatrick at the top of the screen. There is the pitch going to Buster Allen. Allen going around the right side. Has what may be a first down as he gets up around the 40. I think he's going to be short. The official's going to mark it out at the 39. Tony Hall again over there for Vineland. Also was Rich Scarpa. And it's going to be about a foot short, Hank, for first down.
Yeah, it is, Jim. Nice option play. Grimm was able to get the ball out there on a nice pitch to the trail man, and they were almost able to pick up the first down. But a good, excellent defensive pursuit by Vineland to stop him just short of the first down.
Well, I like the way they played the option play, too. There was somebody there ready to grab Grimm, and sometimes in high school ball, the guys just let that fellow make up his own mind. But he had to get rid of that pitch.
Both receivers at the top of the screen, split backfield. Richie Grimm calling signals on third and a yard. The handoff to Buster Allen, who's got a first down, carries one man with him. But Tony Hall, who's been all over the field so far defensively, on the bottom of that pile for the Fighting Clan. But it'll be first and 10 for the Thunderbolts. They'll have it at their own 43-yard line.
What a great athlete Allen is. I haven't seen Millville in the past several weeks, Jim, but he's just a great all-around athlete. Does a lot of things for Millville, offensively, defensively, on the specialty teams. Does a lot of the kicking for Millville, and just a natural athlete.
He sure has been a good one, and of course filling in for the injured Harold Camper, which they certainly can use today. The excellent running of Allen and of course Gaskins both ran real well against Mainland. The officials again now taking changing the footballs. Okay. Eric Walter is in for Millville. He's number 20 there at the right of your screen. And split next to him is Morris Fitzpatrick. At the top of the screen is Chip McNair. So Millville with three wide receivers with a split backfield. Grimm back to pass. It's blocked and knocked down. Great defensive play on the part of number 80, Darren Luciano.
That won't be the first time.
A great rush, Tony, by the defensive line. McNair had run the wide out for Millville, had run a hook pattern 10 yards down the field and was open, but Grimm just didn't have a chance. Tremendous rush by that defensive line.
Well, I'll tell you, the opponents have been coming to the opposite side away from Darren. It doesn't make any difference, but Darren's going to pursue anyhow. You're going to see that. He crosses the field, and people try to stay away from him.
You're right. He is tough. Morris Fitzpatrick at the bottom of the screen. Up at the top is Chip McNair. Split backfield. DeMorit back in at tight end for Millville. There is the handoff to Gaskins, straight ahead off the right side up to about the 49-yard line. Pickup of about 5 yards on the play. They're making the stop for Vineland High was Chris Sazdelli.
I think we'll see Millville now come back with that option that they ran successfully on the second down play in the last series. And, Jim, I think that they'll run it out to the right-hand side and try to get the ball to the trail man and pick up the first down.
Okay, Hank, we'll see what they do. Chip McNair at top of the screen. Down at the bottom is Eric Walter right now. Split backfield. There is the pitch. It goes to Gaskins. Gaskins trying to run around the left side and does not have enough for a first down. Good defensive pursuit and some super speed over there. One of the people I see was 22, Jamal Roach, who Tony tells me hits and hits hard. And Jamal's a young man I remember from the mini wrestling program. So it's going to be short of a first down. The ball is marked at the 49 of Millville, and Buster Allen is going to come in to punt the football for the Thunderbolts.
And the first one to make contact around there was number 50, Tony Hall. He got his hands on him first.
Well, he's tough, too. Steve Rizzo and Ron Rogers back to receive the punt from Buster Allen. He stands at his own 36-yard line.
Looks like Vineland may have a block one.
Oh, it's a high snap, too, but Allen gets the ball, gets the kick away. What a kick as he went down. He goes out of bounds. The referee's going to mark it out at about the 18-yard line. So no return, of course, as it's out of bounds. It'll be first and 10, Vineland High at their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, that was a good job by Allen getting the ball out of bounds, Jim. Vineland didn't have the rush. It looked like they were going to come with the rush, but didn't. And a good thing for Millville because it wasn't a real good snap. They tried to set up the return to the near side of the field here, but Allen doing a real good job getting the ball out of bounds. And now Vineland stuck with the ball a little bit, and they're in territory on the 18-yard line. Not really quite the field position they would like to have.
Okay, Vineland has the football. It's Coney handing the ball off. to Rizzo, and Rizzo picks up maybe a couple of yards. Scott McConnell, 84, over there to drop him.
With McConnell and not Sorrentino, McConnell and DeMore at the linebackers, very active for Millville so far in this ballgame.
Two good young linebackers, McConnell Jr. and of course DeMore, only a sophomore for the Thunderbolts, so they'll have those guys back next year. Coming out wide on the left side is Mike Mays, split at the top of the screen. Steve Rizzo, split backfield. Rizzo has the football and is up to about the 30-yard line. Enough for a first down. Good run by Rizzo.
Well, you know, if you're going to defense Mike Mays, you better have a real quick fella. Because when he slants across the middle, no one's been able to keep up with him yet. And Piccone and he have gotten this combination together. Piccone throws the ball. Mike Mays catches up to it. He just sort of coasts under it, and that's it. But they have been very successful. Rizzo is...
Is he shaking up a little bit, though?
I don't know.
They're bringing him off the field. Maybe it's an equipment problem or something, but he is
Number
coming.
30, Tim Jones, is going in forward. You know, he's coming back out. He's talking to both of them. Tim Jones has been a good ball player for Coach Parentazzi. Against Cherokee, he carried the ball for 129 yards. And for the season right now, he has 23 carries for 181 yards, which is 7.9 and 3 touchdowns. So he's an able replacement.
Mike Mays goes to the top of the screen. Coming down here at the bottom is Al Natty. You've got Buddy Piccone with the split backfield. Piccone on 1st and 10. Hands it off. Coming through the line is Ronnie Rogers. Ron comes up to the 35-yard line before Bob Falver and Eugene Ward are there, along with Buster Allen, to bring him down. But a good pickup with about 6 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that was a good job by that offensive line. The line was just, again, getting off the ball extremely well and very quick, and with Rizzo behind him. It didn't look like they picked up that much yardage for the people watching. Maybe looked like maybe a couple yards. They just got such good quickness off the line of scrimmage and offensive penetration that they picked up 6 yards on that play.
They sure did. Mike Mays out on the right side. Tony thinks they're going to pass right now with split backfield. And there is the handoff going to Rizzo. Up across the 40, though, it has the first down. 1st and 10 for the fighting plan. Buster Allen there on the stop.
Defensively, and we'll have to wait and see if they can stay with them defensively straight ahead the whole game. Vineland a little bigger, a little stronger on the inside, and I think you'll see them stick to that power game with an occasional pass, coming back maybe hitting Mays or someone across the middle with a pass.
Rogers and Tim Jones are the running backs. Buddy Piccone calling the signals. There's Tim Jones going around the right side, and he's not going very far as he is met and knocked out of bounds at about the 30 or 41-yard line. Scott McConnell the first to hit him, and very little gain on that play.
That's what I was talking about, guys. When they've tried to get outside, the defensive Millville has been able to catch up with them, and but when they run that straight-ahead dive, or I don't know if they have a little counter play, I'm sure they do, coming back inside, I think they'll be much more successful offensively against Millville.
Well, you know, nice thing, injuries are never nice, but in the second game of the season, when Rizzo was out and Jones and Rogers were in the backfield, they became very familiar with each other. So when you bring in Jones to replace Rizzo, there was a little bit more compatibility than just bringing in a fellow for one play and taking him out.
Ron Rogers and Steve Rizzo now back in at the running back spots. In motion goes Rogers. Piccone out to shoot it out in the flat. It's incomplete. He intended to pass out here for Dean Fisher, but just underthrew him by a fraction of a step there, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for Vineland.
What they did, they ran a very wide slot that time to the left side, and with 2 wideouts out there, Millville appeared to only have 1 defensive man out there covering both men, and they tried to get that slot man out to the flat. Had he had a little stronger arm that time and been able to get the ball out to the receiver a little quicker, Vineland would have picked up big yardage on that play.
Yeah, Fisher's a good receiver, too. He hasn't had many receptions, but where he has received the ball, he's done a nice job of it. Actually, he's had 2 receptions for 21 yards of reception, so that's not too bad.
No, it's not. 3rd and 10. Piccone, the quarterback, with a split backfield. In motion goes Rogers. And there is a draw play, wide open draw play to Steve Rizzo, but he is dropped at about the 45-yard line. Good recovery there on the part of one of the Millville defenders. I wasn't able to pick up.
I didn't get that either, Jim.
That was a play I thought maybe would give Millville some problems defensively because they've been pursuing the ball so quickly, but did a real good job the left side of the defensive line for Millville staying at home and stopping the play.
Dean Scarpa is going to get the kick away. Scarpa with a boomer. Beautiful kick. Gaskins takes it, and he is dropped almost immediately at the 13-yard line. Making the tackle for Vineland was Tim Jones.
Yeah, good kick, good job by the Vineland kicking team, but also a real good job by Gaskins that time. Had he let that ball go, it looked like it probably would have rolled maybe out of bounds there, and Millville would have even been in bigger trouble deeper near their own end zone.
Yeah, that was a nice 48-yard punt.
It sure was, Tony. That's as good as Telchek does for the Eagles.
Well, Scarpa's been kicking the ball rather well. His average was like 34 yards, but at times, of course, he's kicked the ball out of bounds on purpose. So, but that's a nice punt.
He didn't have the wind with him either.
Oh.
Split backfield there with Rich Grimm calling the signals. Gaskins and Buster Allen. Gaskins gets the football, just about gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a yard on the play, up to about the 15-yard line.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, you know, but that's happened before. But you start seeing some adjustments now on the Vineland defensive plane. They'll start making some moves. Teams that, like Atlantic City came down the field with their Jones, and Jones went crazy for 4 or 5 downs, and then things start changing. It may happen this way. It probably will.
Luciano made that stop for Vineland. 2nd and 9, split backfield. Grimm hands the ball off to Buster Allen. Fumble on the play, and Vineland players indicate they've recovered it, and they have. Vineland High comes up with the first big break of the football game here, Hank, as they come up with that football as Buster Allen coughs it up at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's what neither team can afford to do in this kind of game, Jim. Both teams playing real good football in the past 4 weeks, and the team that's going to make the mistakes, the team that's going to lose.
I think it was Chris Sazdelli who came up with that fumble. There you see some of the happy Vineland fans. We hope you enjoy our 2-camera coverage of today's Vineland-Millville football game. And if you're a businessman in Vineland or Millville next year, we'd like to do all the Vineland games with 2 cameras as well, but we need some advertisers. There goes the handoff. Ron Rogers takes it down to about the 16-yard line, pickup of about 3 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 7, the ball at the 16.
Yeah, if you're Vineland, you have to keep running that offense. Run that split backfield and run those off-tackle plays. Millville hasn't really been able to stop them running that kind of power offense.
Now that right side of the Vineland offensive line, which is Greg Wright, the center, Tony Hall, and Al Giordano doing a super job pushing out there and clearing the way for Ron Rogers. Rogers and Jones are the running backs, I believe. There's the handoff to Rizzo. It was not Jones, it was Rizzo down to the 14-yard line. Pickup of a couple on the play, getting off the bottom of the pile for Millville, Eugene DeMorin.
Before the game, Bill Bonque was standing out here and kicking 45-yard field goals, and he was getting a toe, and there was no wind either. Of course, before the game, without anybody coming in, that makes a difference too. But Bonque has really been coming along. In fact, one game he kicked 6 out of 7 extra points.
Yeah, he's quite a good kicker.
But he has a strong leg.
Now's when you have to watch Mays in the end zone, I think,
right.
Tony.
That's right.
Rizzo and Rogers, the split back behind Piccone. Handoff goes to Rogers. He's down for a first down, still on his feet, driving inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 8, where Eugene DeMorin finally put him down.
Well, what Vineland's doing, as always said, that's what's working for him, so why go away from it? Keep running that power offense, running right at Millville. That's where they've had the most success.
Well, maybe the Millville defensive coordinator was thinking the same way we were. Watch out for Mike Mays cutting in across the center. And here comes Rogers running up the middle.
1st and goal to go. Vineland from the Millville 8-yard line. Split backfield. Rogers and Rizzo. Piccone calling the signals. It's off to Rogers. Rogers inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Scott McConnell finally brought him down, but it's going to be 2nd down, goal to go from the Millville 4-yard line.
Rogers played last year against Millville. He had 10 carries for 64 yards. And in fact, Rizzo played last year. He had 13 carries for 89 yards, and he had two touchdowns. And Tim Jones carried the ball 5 times last year against Millville. So they're more than a nodding acquaintance.
4 seconds remaining in the quarter as the quarter expires. The quarter time has run out, so we'll switch ends of the field. And while we do that, we'll take time out for these messages with the score. Vineland 0, Millville 0. Vineland Millville football action here on your local cable TV channel, being brought to you in part by United Jersey Bank, the fast-moving bank, and by Executive Business Supply, 210 Landis Avenue in Vineland. We'd also like to remind you early registration for Cumberland County College's spring semester will be conducted from 9 to 4 in the college record office through December the 19th. Students can also register December 2nd through the 16th from 4 to 7:30. More than 250 day, evening, and Saturday courses will be conducted during spring semester, which begins January 20th and continues through May the 5th. Buddy Piccone at quarterback with Rogers and Rizzo behind him, and Rogers jumped offside, so it'll be a little procedure against the Fighting Clan. It'll move him back 5 yards. First penalty of today's game.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Jim. I'm glad I didn't say it and jinx those guys, but you know, there haven't been any penalties, and the ball. It's been a clean football game. Very physical, though, at the same time. There's been a lot of good physical contact out there.
Yeah, Rogers is making the same move he made all those other plays, but
a little too early.
A little too soon, right. It looks like Millville called timeout. At least.
I believe they did.
There's he did call timeout.
Timeout on the field with the score, Vineland nothing and Millville nothing. We'll pause for a moment.
Well, there's nothing I like better than being part of a great.
Jim Quinn along with Tony DeRazio and Hank Feen at Gatone Stadium in Vineland, where there's no score in the ball game with the second quarter just ready to start. Vineland just had a penalty to move the ball back at the 10-yard line. It'll be second and goal from the 10. Vineland Millville football action on your local cable TV channel, being brought to you by Risley's Video Center with over 4,500 videotapes for your rental in the Wheaton Plaza Shopping Center in Millville, and by Newcomb Medical Center, a friend for life on State Street in Vineland. There you see some of the Happy Vineland Fighting Clan band there. Rogers and Rizzo's your running backs. Buddy Piccone, the quarterback. Split wide out on the left side is Alfred Nanny. And coming out here on the right is Mike Mays. Piccone calling the signals. There is the pitch to Rizzo, and Rizzo is driven out of bounds. Maybe a gain of a yard on the play. Tim and Sam Allen came up to put him out of bounds.
So what a hit by Sam Allen coming up from his cornerback position that time. Didn't get a real good hit with his helmet and to drive Vineland out of bounds. And now they'll be faced with a third down situation. Tony, this time we've been watching Mays, who's been, if the viewers on the screen can watch, Mays has been consistently going out to the wide side of the field as a wide receiver. Of course, he's coming out of the football game now, so that's someone else.
Yeah, that's Alfred Nanny.
So you have to watch the wide receiver, I think, this time to the wide side of the field on the left. He's getting some one-on-one coverage over there with a lot of room. They may try to go over there.
Mays comes out on the right side.
Rizzo's out on the left side this time.
Okay. There's Piccone, and there's a pass, a halfback pass into the end zone, picked off. A great pick, interception there. And was it Joe Felice?
It looked like it, yeah.
He's all over usually on that defense. He goes after the football.
I think it was Joey.
Yeah,
What a heck of a football player. He was all the way out on the right side, Jim, and he saw that play coming all the way. It was a halfback option pass out to the right. Came all the way across the field with a great read from a safety position to pick off that play.
Who threw it?
Steve Rizzo.
Rizzo, the tailback, or the running back, whoever it was. I don't know.
He flanked out to the left.
Yeah,
he came all the way around and took that pitch.
So anyway, the breaks exchange as Vineland picked up the fumble. Millville comes up with the interception, and there's still no score in the football game. Chip McNear and Morris Fitzpatrick at the top of the screen. Calling the signals is Richie Grimm. Grimm hands the ball off to Skeeter Gaskins, who's got a first down. Across the 30 up to about the 34-yard line goes Skeeter Gaskins. Good running by Skeets, and in on the stop for Vineland High. was number 70, Rich Scarpa. So it'll be 1st and 10, Millville at their own 35-yard line.
Momentum's a crazy thing in this game. First, you have the turnover. Vineland has the ball. First down on Millville's own 6-yard line. Millville's 6-yard line. They turn the ball over. Now Millville with the momentum, coming back with a big first down and with the ball on their own 35-yard line.
Well, you fellas have seen a lot more of these Millville games than I, but that's the kind of thing, I guess, with that play Vineland had with Rizzo throwing the ball. That was a good play. The man was open, too.
Yes, he was, absolutely. Good defense by Joe Felice. There is Buster Allen, and he's turned over at the 36-yard line, and some real strong defense there by Darren Luciano, number 80. It's going to be 2nd down 9, the ball at the 36 of Millville.
The last 2 offensive plays for Millville, they were able to pick up decent yardage on the first down. Jim picking up a first down, but the trail man on that pitch has been open both times. Now we have the wide side of the field to the right side, as you can see on the screen, and Millville may run that option coming back to the right side, to the wide side of the field.
Chip McNear and Morris Fitzpatrick out on the wide side. Richie Grimm rolling with it, throwing it. Chip McNear has the football and is tackled at the 45-yard line, but not before he picks up a first down. Jamal Roach, 22, over there to bring him down.
I like that. That's a dangerous play. That ball seemed to be in the air an awful long time, and then Vineland been guarding a little bit tougher defensively. They may have picked that off. But McNear did a real good job coming back to meet the football and using his body to protect that football. That was a great reception.
It sure was. But as you said, the ball hung for quite a while. And it was a long throw, even though it only went for about 9 yards and a first down. It was long across the field. But Eric Walter in now, the wide receiver on the top of the screen. Down at the bottom of the screen is Chip McNear and Morris Fitzpatrick. Split backfield. The handoff goes to the first man through Buster Allen. And boy, he is slammed down. They get the guy at 70 that brings him down, Richie Scarpa. And boy, he really met him and crunched him back after a gain of about a yard to the 46 or 47-yard line.
Scarpa's Ken Clark of the fighting. He's Ken Clark of the fighting clan, because he stays in the middle of that line. Scarpa's tough in the middle there.
He sure is. He and Luciano and Tony Hall and some good defenders. That Vineland defensive line is Steve Rizzo, Tony Hall, Rich Scarpa, Chris Sazdelli, Darren Luciano across the front. Zacchetti and Buckaloo, the linebackers, Roach, Johnson, Murray, and Stevens, the defensive backs. Millville across the front on offense. They've got Chip McNear as a wide receiver. Morris Fitzpatrick is a swing back. Their line is Eugene DeMort, Marty Milbourne, Jody Farabella, Jared Walker, Ronnie McDowell, and Rick Wilden.
It's like timeout on the field.
There's a timeout on the field with the score. Vineland nothing, Millville nothing. We'll pause for a moment.
Team, and that's why I'm suiting up to work out with the J team here at Jiffy Lube. It's hard to believe how much these guys can do to your car in just 10 minutes. Full lubrication, oil change, filter, 14 services in all. This Jiffy Lube team is ready for action. That's why you can drive right in without an appointment. Okay, you guys ready? Sorry, Bill, we're all finished. Well, how do they do that?
With Tony D'Orazio and Hank Fien, as you see some of the capacity Vineland fans there enjoying today's Millville Vineland Turkey Day Classic. It's being brought to you on your local cable TV channel in part by Jiffy Lube, Park Avenue, Delsey Drive in Vineland. Bill Berge's place where he takes his car, and his mom even takes her car there too. And by the Waltman Agency, my insurance company, and I hope maybe yours, 135 North High Street in Millville. 2nd down and 9, split backfield. Receivers both split down to the bottom of the screen. Back to pass is Grimm. He throws it to Gaskins for a screen. Gaskins with a football and is driven out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. And Tony, there's a flag down.
Yeah, there's a flag on that play. That took a little while to develop, though.
Yeah, a little too long, Tony. It was set up as a screen to the right side of the field. They ran a wide slot to the left. And they tried to get it out there, but it was one of those things that was open. But Millville just took a little too long to get in the football over there, Jim. And the Vineland defense was able to react and get back and stop the play. But we also have looks like a big one too, some kind of illegal block probably, and Millville will be faced with a 2nd and probably 25 yards.
In fact, they lost a couple yards on that play.
Well, you're right. 2nd 25 at least, maybe 26. So I would say 2nd and 26 is what it. Is that right? Yeah, 2nd 26. They have 21 on the scoreboard, but it is 26 yards.
Good idea, excellent idea, but unfortunately for Millville, unfortunately for Vineland, it didn't work.
So it's second down, 26 yards to go for a first down. Millville has the football now at their own 30-yard line. They need to go to the 46, or no, they need to go to to their own 44. Back to pass is Richie Grimm. He's looking. He's shooting it long for McNear. He's got it. What a great catch by Chip McNear as he stayed inbounds. One of the people there for Vineland was Mike Murray, who was there with Jamal Roach to knock him out of bounds, but a good pass by Grimm, a good reception by Chip McNear.
You remember at the beginning of the season, Jim, I thought McNear is a great athlete, a great receiver, probably maybe the best receiver I've ever seen at the Millville High School. He just has good moves, has the ability to get open, great, those soft hands, and I think he's a junior. He's a junior this year. Yeah. And by the time he's done, he's a blue chip athlete.
Turkey Day football, you see the score. There is none. Richie Grimm rolling, 3rd and 10. He's still rolling, and he's dropped. Fumbles the football, and was covered by Millville, but Darren will make it Tony Hall. Rick Scarpa, rather, number 70, was in there to drop him for a big loss in the play back to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that was great pursuit, great rush by Scarpa. I think Millville could have unloaded the football a little quicker on that roll out to the right. McNear was open on an out pattern, right at the first down marker downfield. Had Grimm been able to get the ball out there a little quicker, they picked up the first down, but that was just great pursuit, quickness by Scarpa. And they're tough inside, Tony. We keep saying how tough they are, but they're quick, too.
Oh, yeah, they are a quick ball club, very quick.
Buster Allen stands at his own 22-yard line. Another high snap, but he has the football, and he gets the kick away. And it is angling towards the sideline. There will be no return on it, as you see it right down in front of our cameraman there. And the ball is down at the 24-yard line by Morris Fitzpatrick. So it'll be 1st and 10 Vineland. They take over at their own 24. Neither team on the initial exchanges having that great a field position, except, of course, Vineland had it with that fumble recovery, unable to capitalize.
Right, both kicking teams doing a good job in the football game. And in a big football game like that, that's a lot of times what does make the difference, your specialty teams.
Vineland Millville football here on your local cable TV channel, being brought to you by Lurco Oil Company, 520 Cheston Avenue in Vineland, and Dr. Jim Beebe's Millville Chiropractic Center, 1014 High Street, Millville. Head off to Rogers, running strong across the 25 up to about the 28, where Eugene DeMart made the stop for Millville.
You know, they put in Jones that time, and they went into the wishbone, and they'll change out of that. But when Jones comes in with the 3 men in the backfield, you'll have that wishbone set up. But, you know, again, Vineland, and I've said it to one of our other broadcasts, big play team. You know, everything's going along, and you're ahead of them in stats, and you look up at the scoreboard, you're behind.
They've certainly got the guys to break it. Rogers, Rizzo, and, of course, Mays, and splitting out wide now on the right side is Dean Scarpa. Wishbone in the backfield behind quarterback Buddy Piccone. Piccone calling signals on 2nd and 6. Hands it off again to Rogers. Rogers has a first down across the 35 up to about the 36 or 37-yard line before Bob Culver brings him down.
Yeah, again, tackle to tackle, Vineland has been able to move the football straight ahead on that power kind of offense throughout the game.
So it's first down, 10 yards to go for the Fighting Clan. They have the ball at their own 37-yard line.
Oh, Jim, I'm glad you called this Gatone Stadium. You know, Atlantic City Press the other day, giving out plaudits. They said they call this Landis Junior High Field. Now it's Landis Intermediate, for that matter.
That's true. They didn't have the school name right. Wishbone behind Buddy Piccone. Scarpa wide on the right side, Mays on the left. Piccone back to pass, looking for Mays, shoots it. It's incomplete. Joe Felice over there covering on that play for Millville. He'll be the quarterback next year for Millville High School.
Yeah, Millville's shown a lot of confidence in Felice, too. They know what a dangerous receiver, as Tony has told us throughout the game, Mays is. And they've opted to just about cover Mays out there man-on-man with Felice. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do for 60 minutes, though.
You know, to back up what I said about Mays, he's had 7 receptions, 169 yards. That's 24.1 a catch and 4 touchdowns.
There's your big plays you're talking about,
right.
too.
And center fielder on a baseball team, too, so he can catch him.
He sure can. Scarpa wide out on the right side. Dean Fisher now split out on the left at the top of the screen. Wishbone formation. Piccone back to pass. He's got time. He shoots it. It's a wobbler, incomplete. And it was intended over here for Nanny. Alfred Nanny. It was a tip, Tony. Tony said it was
deflected. That's right. Piccone's getting up slow. That's not unusual. The Cumberland game, he got up slowly several times, but this time it seems like he might have a little bit of a problem with the leg.
Yeah, he really looks like he is shaken up, Tony, and so far no movement from the sidelines to bring anybody in.
You know, it seems funny, though, to run the wishbone and pass off of it. You know, you think of the Oklahoma wishbone, you don't see too many passes of Oklahoma.
Yeah, Marty Milburn, I think, may have gotten a hand on that ball and tipped that football.
Buddy Piccone still limping as he comes up to the line of scrimmage. Two receivers up the top of the screen, and Fisher down at the bottom. And there's whistles, and there was movement in the line. Let's see what the call will be. Looked like, to me, Vineland may have moved. Millville's pointing that way. Illegal procedure against the Fighting Clan. Another penalty against Vineland, and a tough one there.
Yeah, that was a fortunate call for Millville, Jim. They had gone to the draw play, and it looked like Millville was sending both linebackers, and they had gotten defensive penetration. It looked like that running back, was it Rizzo? Yeah. Had gotten underneath them and had broken that line of scrimmage. He could have gone a long way on that play.
Well, and Coach Parentazzi early in the season had told his teams that, you know, we're killing ourselves with dumb mistakes. And it seems that way sometimes. You sort of combine a couple penalties together, and where you have good position, you end up being a long way from the goal line. And a penalty right here with, well, it's still 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go. It's still a penalty, 5 yards that moves you back that you have to make up.
There is a timeout on the field with no score. We'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you. Thank you.
Jim Quinn along with Hank Feen and Tony D'Orazio here at Gatone Stadium in Vineland for the 1986 Turkey Day Classic. There's no scoring in the game. Vineland came closest to scoring when they got down to the 5-yard line, or 4 or 5, and were unable to get it in as a penalty set them back. There you see my buddy, Coach John Parentazzi. Really a nice gentleman. He and Coach Tony Cerise are two of the finest coaches I know. They are just real good guys. Great personalities, nice people, and we wish both of them the best of success today. Of course, unfortunately, unless it's a tie, one of them's going to come out with a win and one with a loss. Split backfield behind Piccone. He's back to pass. He's throwing it long, and Joey Felice picks it off. Felice at the 45, still on his feet, down at the 43-yard line. Second interception for Joe Felice, and Rick Scarpa brought him down, and he is getting up slowly. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, that was another heads-up play by Joey. He's just a good football player. You know, he came into this game leading all Millville defenders in interceptions before, and that gives him 6 for the season now, and that probably puts him among the leaders up in the Cal 1 league, I would imagine. I
would think so, as Joe Felice is okay. He comes up with the interception. The ball is at the Millville 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Thunderbolts. With the football is Richie Grimm calling the signals. He bootlegs it, puts it on his hips, got a wide open field, throwing long for Morris Fitzpatrick. It's incomplete. Good coverage there on the part of Bruce Johnson, number 41.
Yeah, Scott Stevens back there too, number 10.
Number 10, right, Scott Stevens.
Yeah, I think that ball slipped a little bit. He didn't get as much on it as he would like, but it was a rollout. It was a bootleg out to the right, and there was a lot of running room out there, and had Rich opted to run with the football, he'd have picked up big yardage.
Well, because, yeah, double teamed that time was Rizzo, number 32, was double teamed, and he's playing on the left corner, and they had him boxed in.
Millville's offense much more exciting in the last 5 games than it was in that first 4 games of the season. The last few games, they've really showed some good innovative offensive plays. There's a pitch to Gaskins. Gaskins trying to run wide. Good defensive play. 50 on the part of number 50, Tony Hall.
Good play by Hall. Great pursuit getting out there. What happened, though, for Millville, why that play didn't come in the yardage was Gaskins was carrying the football on that play.
Yes, he was.
He didn't wait for his blocker. He got the pitch on the option play, and he kind of was running the side-by-side with his blocker. He should have waited a little bit, let Allen get upfield and try to throw a block on number 50, the linebacker for Vineland.
You see the Millville band, Millville stands. There's the pass. It's incomplete, out of bounds. It looked like he'd come up with a McNear, but they say it was out of bounds right around the first down marker. So it's going to bring up a fourth down punting situation for the Bolts, and is their punter, Buster Allen.
Yeah, I think Vineland, who's had to return on each and every time, the last two times Millville's had difficulty on their snaps. The last time was that very high, slow snap. Vineland, I think, is very aware of that, and I wouldn't be surprised one of these times to see them try to go for the block.
Ted Lambert has done a real good job this year snapping the football. I don't know if the wind's affecting him today or not. He's getting it there, but they've been high and wobbly. That one's a better snap. And there is Buster Allen's kick. It is Rogers looking at it. Rogers letting it bounce and decides, no way, I'm not going to touch this football. It's down at the 19-yard line by Milbourne, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan. They take over their own 19-yard line, and we don't have any score in the game. 5:15 remaining in the first half. Vineland Millville football on your local cable TV channel is a Jim Quinn Associates production, being produced today by our video crew from Television. If you need any type of videotaping services done, call the pros at Television, 327-3188 for anything, weddings, parties, whatever you may have. You need videotape, call Paul Kell, 327-3188. Split backfield behind Piccone, and I believe Millville may have jumped off sides.
The linebacker was blitzing. He was there before the ball was.
Yeah, that's the way it looked from up here, but I think they're saying the Vineland player,
right.
I think someone on that right-hand side of the offensive line moved an arm or a head or something and drew them off.
He's probably reacting to the linebacker starting to blitz and sort of caused him to move.
Vineland's offensive alignment is Ray Greif at center, Tony Hall and Rich Scarpa the guards. Rich Bernozzi along with Al Giordano are the tackles. Tight end is Dean Scarpa.
Yeah, Coach Parentazzi had a little question with the official about that particular call.
Yeah, I think Millville has, what, 2 timeouts left in the half?
Yes,
they've used 2.
They've used 2, so they only have 1. If they stop them on this play, they may use one of those timeouts.
Mays wide out on the left side, Nanny wide out on the right. Piccone calling the signals, hands it off to Rizzo. Rizzo with some running room and is driven out of bounds right in front of our downed cameramen and our crew down there at, as you see the camera going all over the place, at the 23-yard line. A pickup of about 5 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down. Pickup of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
That's a real good play for Vineland, picking up that 4 or 5 yards on that play. Now they're able to do many more things. You know, they're not stuck deep in their own territory. They're in a 2nd and 6 situation, and they have an opportunity to pick up that 1st down before they give the ball back to Millville.
Yes, they do. Mays wide out on the left side. Dean Fisher wide on the right. Split backfield. Piccone hands it off to Rizzo, breaks the tackle, comes around the right side and is driven out of bounds. And for a 1st down up around the 30-yard line as Sam Allen took him out.
One of the Millville linemen had a shot at Rizzo in the backfield. He just kicked his leg, and that was it.
Yeah, it's surprising the quickness he has. He doesn't look that quick, but you're right. Gave him a real good head fake that time and used the sidelines real well, as people saw on their screens, and was able to cut the ball upfield and pick up the 1st down.
We'd like to remind, especially our Vineland viewers, that this 2-camera production is what we've been doing for all the Millville games, but fortunately we've gotten a lot better sponsorship from Millville, and if any Vineland merchants would like to sponsor, just give me a call at 825-1212 for next year. There's the handoff going over there to Rizzo again. He goes up to about the 35-yard line. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play, and if we do get sponsorship, an additional amount, we only have 4 or 5 Vineland sponsors this year. If we can get at least 8 or 9, we'll be able to do a 2-camera production for all the Vineland home games next year as well, and that we're hoping to be able to do. So if you are a Vineland business person, you know Vineland people love Vineland high school football, just like the Millville people enjoy watching Thunderbolt football. Mays goes out on the left side wide. Coming out on the right is Dean Fisher. Slotted on the right is Scarpa. We've got a split backfield behind quarterback Buddy Piccone on a 2nd down and 6. Piccone keeps it himself, picks up maybe a yard or so on the option. In fact, maybe 2 yards on the play. It's going to be 3rd down, about 3 yards to go for the Fighting Clan. Eugene DeMorit, and on the bottom of that pile for Millville's Jared Walker.
That was a good read by Piccone that time. He was coming down the line of scrimmage to his left. He saw the defensive end out wide, and had he pitched it, it would have been a very dangerous pitch and possibly a fumble or at least minimum thrown for a loss. So he made a good read, cut the ball upfield, and even though he didn't pick up big yardage, he probably saved 3 or 4 yards of losses by making that play.
There's a nice crowd here, Jim.
Sure is. In there, Tony, standing room only.
Good.
Third down and 3, rather, with 3 minutes 4 seconds remaining in the first half. No score. There is the handoff going ahead to Rizzo. Rizzo has the first down across the 40, close to the 45-yard line. Joe Felice comes up to put him away.
I think if Vineland just stuck to that game, Tony. I mean, I think if they just ran right at Millville, they have obviously the most success they've had is just running right at Millville, and they seem to go away from that. And when they put the ball in the air or tried to go wide, that's when they've made the mistakes and had the turnovers. But they're just very strong and very quick to the inside, and are very successful running the ball directly at Millville.
Mays is at the bottom of the screen there on the right side of your screen. This is a wide receiver. Piccone back to pass, got plenty of time. He's throwing it long, and behind him, dropped the football. Oh, wow. Mike Mays had the receiver, the defender's beaten, was about 3 yards behind him, and just dropped the football. Nobody feels worse about it than poor Mike Mays right now.
And you know, he's probably ready to turn and run for that touchdown.
That's what usually happens.
Yeah, but that's unusual. He doesn't, but it happened. Okay.
Yeah, that is a shame for Vineland. Of course, if you're Millville, you know, it's not such a shame. Real good job by Vineland. Good play faking. Good faking into the line of scrimmage. Coney getting a good drop. Mays with a good pass route, got behind the defenders. They did everything to catch the football and score.
And the ball's right on the money.
Out of the Vineland crowd here today, as we mentioned, Tony was saying, it's a jam-packed crowd. Great to see. There's the draw play to Rogers, and he's dropped. Somebody got a hold of him and dropped him about a yard behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd down now and 11. I think it was McConnell who dropped him.
You know, when fellas run like Rizzo and Rogers, it doesn't take much to knock them down sometimes. But if you're hitting head on, it takes 3 or 4 guys. If you're lying on the ground, it seems like you reach up with a finger and over they go.
That's something.
If you smash them, you can't do it. But if you're just laying there, that's one of the ironies of football.
A reminder, following the game on TV2 in Vineland, we have a special New Jersey Youth Corps program. If you're 16 to 25, unemployed, high school dropout, or if you know someone who is, they'll want to watch that program. It's very informative, and it may be a good opportunity for them. Ron Rogers with the running, good running, still with the football, first down inside the 40, down to the 39-yard line goes Ron Rogers. Darren White, one of the Millville defenders, finally to stop him.
Yeah, that was an option that time down to the left side. Good pitch, good read by Piccone, getting the Coney to get the ball to the outside, and Vineland cutting it upfield with now they're on where? Where's the ball, Jim?
38.
On about the 38 with a minute 33 remaining in the half. Vineland with probably maybe their best drive, sustained drive of the football game.
And Vineland calls the timeout with a timeout on the field and no score. We'll pause for just a moment. In Vineland. Back at Catone Stadium in Vineland, Jim Quinn, Hank Feen, and Tony D'Orazio, where you see some of the Vineland cheerleaders with their sunglasses on. There's one young lady without them, but everybody else has them. And there are the Vineland fans. Even some of the Vineland fans have sunglasses on there.
But they're in the shade.
Yes, they are. The Millville fans are in the sun. I'm sure it's nice and warm on the Millville side. There are many of the happy fans here today watching the football game. 1st and 10, Vineland, 39-yard line. There is the pitch to Rogers again. Rogers running well and has got what may be another first down as the official comes back to separate a few of the players there. They're going to mark the ball down. It is another first down inside the Millville 30 at the Millville 28-yard line. So 1st and 10, Vineland at the 28, and Ron Rogers running with abandon.
Yeah, that's the second play in a row on the option where there's been no defender for Millville out there covering that pitch man on the option. He's been wide open both times in the last 2 plays.
Scarpa wide out on the right side. Also Fisher slotted on the right. Top of the screen is Mike Mays. There is Piccone rolling to pass the football. He's looking. He's being rushed. rushed. He's being rushed under pressure, throws it into the end zone, batted away by McNear, almost grabbed on the rebound by Scarpa. Wow, what a try, Tone.
They really, Picconi's down again. He really got hit. You know, he's got that arm extended, making it, and he has thrown a beautiful pass, too.
Yes, he did.
We're seeing a great football game, guys. That was a good effort by Picconi, getting away from that rush to the outside, moving outside the pocket, and getting the ball upfield, and just a super effort by McNear. Sure. What an athlete he is.
And then Scarpa almost gets it.
And then Scarpa almost catches it in the end zone.
Yeah,
great effort by all three players.
Well, then there's the other fellas out there, too, to really bang it.
Absolutely. Second down, 10, the ball at the Millville 28. Scarpa comes wide out on the right side. Now slotted on the right is Al Nani. Top of the screen is Mays. In motion comes Rizzo. Picconi throws it. It is incomplete. Intended there, Doug White broke it up. It was intended for Al Nani. And it's going to bring up a third attempt. There's a flag down on the play with 55 seconds remaining in the...
We may have had a clip on the man in motion for Vineland. I think that's what the call. He went in motion, came back and did a crackback block against the defensive end or cornerback over there, and I think it was an illegal block.
I think you're right, Hank, because that's what the official has indicated, and it will be a big one marched off against the Fighting Clan with only 55 seconds remaining. There is no score, and even though there isn't any score, you'd usually say, well, it's been a boring game if there isn't any scoring. This has been an exciting football game, some great defensive plays, some fine offensive plays, but when the defense is needed to come to the occasion for both teams, they've been there to stop the other team from scoring.
Well, you see, again, go back to something I said earlier about the coach saying the mistakes will kill you. Well, there's one right there. Phil Bonchu's been down there warming up, and no doubt they were going to try for a field goal if nothing else was going to happen.
Yeah.
So right now they got moved back, but that penalty, they're back at the 45-yard line, which makes it 55, about longer than the 55. From the line of scrimmage is a 55-yard kick. On the 30, he had a good shot, because in practice he was making 45-yard field goals.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. I was watching that kid before the game, and he was kicking in that distance and getting a lot on the football, too.
But now you're out of it.
His dad, Bill, went to school with me, so good man. Can't be all bad, right? Split backfield behind quarterback Buddy Picconi. Picconi drops straight back to pass. Under some pressure, he throws it long and over everybody's head. Intended it there for
I have to agree with Nani, number 35, Millville, sort of detained Nani a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look at it, but I think it's what he's trying to say is he screened him, maybe screened him from the football, had his hands out a little bit. Obviously, a lot of people over here on the Vineland side saw it.
Sure did.
Yeah, but he was looking at the ball and had one hand on his chest like he was guarding him in basketball, you know?
Yeah, well,
playing the weak side basketball player.
Maybe it's like the pros, you know, if they don't feel you can get to the football and it was way away from the play, they don't call it.
Okay, coming in is Dean Fisher. Al Nani is still pleading his case, is going out to the sidelines to talk with Coach Parentazzi. See Keith Petrosky down there, an assistant coach. Split backfield behind quarterback Buddy Picconi, calling the signals on 3rd and long. Picconi hands it off to Ron Rogers. Rogers running wild, still running with the football. Inside the 25, down to the 20-yard line goes Ron Rogers. What fantastic running, but he's still going to be short of a first down. If Vineland takes another timeout with just 38 seconds left.
That's our last timeout, but now they're back in better position than they were before for a field goal.
You know, give Picconi a lot of credit on that play. That was a delay play or a draw, whatever you want to call it. And when he received the snap, he was falling down. He had lost his footing, was falling down, and somehow was able to reach out and get the ball to the running back as he was going down with the ball. Good job by Picconi on that play. Now they're back in that field goal position you're talking about.
Well, Coach Parentazzi just explained a few things to the official as he went out to the huddle and talked to his team. He also spoke to them first, spoke to the officials first. And both coaches oftentimes have something to mention. And they're right, lots of times, I think. You mentioned that thing in the press, Hoffman gave plaudits to some officials for two coaches, Parentazzi and Ceres, about the way they coach. But he also panned a couple others for the way they acted with the officials. We'll mention, well, they're not even in this area. They wouldn't even hear us. But Ed Burns was nominated twice for that honor. That's an honor.
It's a dubious distinction, I'd say, right?
What can you say about a guy who wears a helmet?
That's true, yes. Anyway, it's going to be 4th down. Got about 2 yards to go for a 1st down. There's 38 seconds remaining. Now, remember, Tony just said Vineland has no more timeouts remaining. So, you know, they've got enough maybe to get 2 or 3 plays off and then try to get Bonnecue on. But it's tough to set up for a field goal without getting a timeout. And getting
all right, and then, you know, again, you want to go for the 1st down. You're going to go for it.
4th down and 2. Buddy Piccone calling the signals with a split backfield. Rogers and Rizzo. Piccone back, he shoots it, the pass, it's incomplete, intended for Mays, incomplete.
Joey Felice is having himself one whale of a football game.
Because that's the play that's usually good for a touchdown for Vineland, but not that trip.
Yeah, Felice was just excellent coverage. It was that slant-in pass that Tony had told us about. Quick slant-in, and they tried to get the ball to him very quick, but Joey had it covered all the way.
I would like to ask any of our Vineland viewers if you happen to videotape the Vineland-Bridgeton game and you would be willing to allow our studio to make another copy of it. The one got accidentally erased, and we'd like to try to keep the copies of the game. We'd be happy to come pick it up from you and bring it back to you within, you know, a day or so. If you have the Vineland-Bridgeton game on tape, if you tape the game off TV. Handoff goes to Skeet Gaskins, goes off the right side, maybe a yard or so on that play. It's going to bring up gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Millville, I think, just going to let the time run out, and Millville's dodged some bullets here on defense.
Miller just took timeout, Jim. Okay. What do you think? You're going to go for broke?
They're going to get, well, obviously, if they call a timeout, they're going to run a play.
Yeah.
There were only 19 seconds remaining. They could have let the clock run out and gone in at halftime. But if they call the timeout, they're going to try to go deep to McNear and try to game the football deep and pick up the 6 points before halftime.
Well, McNear, for the season, he's averaged 14.6 for 16 catches. So as you were saying, he's doing a great job catching that ball.
Yeah, he's only in the second half, though. In the first half of the season, they had very little offense going.
Yeah. Well, that's what I wonder. I look at the statistics, and for the quarterback, like Grimm has 30 for 69 with 2 touchdowns. So you say the first half of the season is nothing, and the second half is a good season.
Yes,
yeah. The last 4 games have been a season for them as far as offensive production. They've just been super moving the football.
28-0 over Holy Spirit, 30 to 11-10 over
Mainland.
Really had a great game there. Chip McNear and Mars Fitzpatrick both come out to the right of your screen. Top there is Eric Walter calling the signals. Rich Grimmel to split backfield. 19 seconds remaining. Grimmel the long count. Hands the ball off to Gaskins. Gaskins running with it up across the 25 to about the 28. Just 11 seconds remaining.
I think they just then evidently called that timeout to make sure they had everything straight out there. Everybody was on the field so they wouldn't have a turnover or a fumble, and then run the clock out.
That would have given Vineland another chance for a field goal in.
Yes, it would have, absolutely. 11 seconds, clock running down now to 8, 7, 6, 5. Millville not going to run another play. 3, 2, 1. There you see it. There isn't any score here as the Monogram Club donated the scoreboard to the Vineland High School football team. And the half ends with a score: Vineland 0, Millville 0. Millville Vineland football action on your local cable TV channel, being brought to you in part by the Vineland Chiropractic Center. Dr. Mike Harvey, the voice of the Vineland High Fighting Clan here on Channel 2 throughout most of the season. 78 West Park Avenue and West Avenues in Vineland. By Cumberland County College, where early registration for spring semester is now on through December the 19th from 9 until 4. Millville 0, Vineland 0 at halftime here on Turkey Day 1986. We certainly hope you're enjoying the coverage of Millville Vineland football on your local cable TV channel. It's a Jim Quinn Associates production, with the video being done today by Television of Millville. 327-3188 for any of videotaping you might need. Call the pros at Television. 327-3188. We'd also like to remind you the second half, Tony will be with you, but we switch. Hank and I go over to WREY, AM 1440, and broadcast the game on radio. John Spott, Bill McCafferty will join Tony D'Orazio for the second half of Millville Vineland football here on your local cable TV channel. One more reminder for our Channel 2 viewers: following today's telecast, you will see a special New Jersey Youth Corps program that we did a public service with Gene Rieti of the New Jersey Youth Corps. And if you're between 6 16 and 24 looking for a job and you're unemployed and a high school dropout, they've got the answer. They'll pay you to go to school and to do some public service work. So check that program out on Channel 2 following today's telecast. And for our Millville viewers, we'd like to remind you Millville High School football action, of course, coming your way, being brought to you in part by United Jersey Bank Cumberland National, with 3 convenient offices in the Holly City to serve you, and of course they have one in Vineland as well. We're going to bring you the halftime of the Vineland High School Marching Band, and we'll tell you the halftime score is scoreless. It's Vineland nothing, Millville nothing, and Tony, Bill McCafferty, and John Spahn will be back with the second half of action, but we're going to leave you with a super halftime performance coming up from the Vineland High School 1986 Fighting Clan Marching Band. Ravitz brings the Fighting Clan up to the line. Ravitz drops back to pass. He's under pressure. He rolls out. He's looking. He throws it. It's complete to Lewis. He's going to score a touchdown. Vineland High scores. Brian Ravitz to Lewis.
Hi, I'm Brian Ravitz. It was a great experience playing football for Vineland High School. But now that my playing days are over, I enjoy watching the games on Cable Channel 2, especially since my new team, Minnesota National Bank, is a game sponsor. Minnesota National Bank is your hometown banking team. We're the only...
Memorial Field in Vineland. John Spahn with you on Cable Channel 4 along with Bill McCafferty and Tony D'Orazio. And we're at halftime. The teams are coming out and getting ready to start out the second half doing their loosening up exercises. We have a scoreless tie, Vineland and Millville, in this 120th meeting of this great rivalry. It's been a great first half, gentlemen.
Yeah, it sure has, and I think Vineland might have scored if they stayed on keeping the ball on the ground, but that's not my decision. That's the coach's decision. Of course, that dropped pass, too. That was a little problem. Mays catches that ball. He's gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, at least Vineland did have 2 opportunities or 2 threats to score, and the drop pass, that was just a lucky break for Millville, and then they also got the break when Millville fumbled the ball deep in their own territory. Millville hasn't really threatened offensively, and but defensively they're playing a great game, and even though it's a 0-0 ball game, it's really been a good football game.
You know, and to prove what you're saying, Bill, Vineland had 158 yards and 10 first downs the first half, all rushing. Millville had 26 yards rushing and 25 passing for 51 yards. They had 3 first downs. And the penalties helped Millville because Vineland had 4 penalties for 30 yards, a 15-yard penalty, and twice, well, they had the ball on the 4-yard line, got a 5-yard penalty, now you pushed them back to the 9, which for a football coach, sometimes that's great because you get a little more room to play around, but by the same token, it cut out a couple of plays you might have done had you been a 4-yard, because that ended up in that interception in the end zone.
Right.
You probably wouldn't have had that. Nope, you wouldn't throw the pass from the 4-yard line.
Those were the 2 big plays in that first half, the fumble by Millville, and then, of course, Vineland coming up with the interception in the end zone. Vineland getting ready to kick off to start our second half. And back deep for the Thunderbolts of Millville, we have 34 in the middle, Bill Gaskins, number 22, Arthur Stubbs, number 11, Morris Fitzpatrick, and getting ready to kick off for Vineland, number 54, Ray Greif. No score as we get ready to start the second half. And I think this game has been just as good as we thought it would be. They're very evenly matched. No scoring, but they really went at each other. Vineland getting the better end of the statistics, as Tony told you, but on the scoreboard, we're still scoreless.
It's a Vineland-Millville football game. Past records don't mean too much when you're doing something like that.
There's the whistle, and Greif gets ready to kick off. And it's going to go to Gaskins at the 10, to the 15, 20, still on his feet to the 25, towards the 30, and he shoved out of bounds near the 30-yard line on the far side of the field.
That was Tim Jones, number 30, that pushed him over.
Yeah, I noticed number 30, Tim Jones from Vineland, he covers the punts, so he does an excellent job. He gets down fast, and he covers the outside. He doesn't let anybody get outside of him.
Tony, we were talking over on radio. It seemed like in the first half, both coaches were sort of like playing a game of poker. They didn't want to show their hand, and perhaps maybe we'll see a lot of different things in this second half.
Well, Vineland's been a big play team all season, and they've got the diversity in their backfield that they can do it. We'll have to see. Like you say, good game of poker.
Gaskins in motion, the pitch to Allen towards the near side, 25, and he's brought down for a loss in the backfield.
That's Darren Lugiano. You're going to see that happen. He'll chase you all over the place.
Darren's been making those big plays for a couple of years now for Vineland High.
He sure has.
Yeah, he's a good defensive end. He, along with Tim Jones, we just talked about his coverage on the punts, and Lugiano is the other guy that goes down and covers on the punts, and those guys just do a good job, and he's a natural defensive end.
Gaskins lost 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. Now you see some of the crowd on hand here today at Gatone Memorial Field for this 1986 Turkey Day Classic. Grimm to throw. Rolling out and looking downfield, and intended for McNear, and incomplete as it bounced around off a couple of players. Down there covering was number 25, Craig Sacchetti for Vineland.
And the thing about it, too, and it bounced around, Vineland had 2 red shirts there, and one of them almost got that ball after it bounced.
Yeah, again, Richie Grimm, to my liking, takes about an extra 3 or 4 steps before he throws the ball. He's got to throw the ball when McNear first makes the cut. By the time the ball arrives, by taking those extra steps, Vineland has a chance to recover, and that was almost intercepted.
It's 3rd and a long 12 for Millville on this first possession of the second half. They have it at their own 27. They have to go to the 39 for a first. Grimm to throw. Looking over the middle for McNear. He's got him. He's got it complete, and it's going to be close to a first down as he caught it right near where they have to go.
Yeah, it's going to be very close, John. I think he has it, but it's going to be awful close. But I think regardless, I think Millville will go for this.
And it looks like he's missing it. Oh, they're going to bring the chains on now. We'll see just how close it is.
Right.
John, are you a right foot or a left foot man?
Right foot.
John Madden uses a 3rd foot. You got it made. Of course, he has big feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he did pick up the first down by the length of a John Madden foot.
That's interesting too, John. Coach Barbos, just before we came down here, I think you saw he drew a little area of where passes can be completed, and that's exactly the type of pass that we were talking about, where we complete the pass from just 10 yards down the field, but in the middle of the field, not everything to the outside.
So Millville picks up the first down at their own 39. Grimm, the pitch to Allen towards the far side. And Allen gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage, as Vineland had good defensive pursuit in there by number 70, Rich Scarpa.
I call him the Ken Clark of the Vineland clan, because he's in the middle of the line, and Scarpa not only can be in the middle of the line and stop you, that's Rich Scarpa, but he'll chase you too.
Yeah, again, I think that neither team can run the option or the quick pitch or anything to the outside to the rover backside. Vineland can't do it with Millville, and Millville can't do it with Vineland.
And yet they did it with Rogers twice at the end of that first half. Now, that's the crazy part about the whole thing.
Gaskins Allen lost a yard on the play. 2nd and 11. Now the ball is loose and fumbled by Grimm, and he covers over on it and loses a couple of more yards. So it'll bring up 3rd and about 13.
Yeah, I thought there was almost a mishandled the snap on the last play, and I was just looking to see if Walker is in there, and it is Walker, the center, but it looked like the last 2 snaps they mishandled. 3rd
down and long yardage for Millville at their own 37. Number 20, Eric Walter, lined up on the far side as a receiver. 11, Morris Fitzpatrick, and 87, Chip McNear, lined up on the near side. Grimm drops back, and he wants to throw. And he's running around back there, and it looks like he's going to keep it on his own, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up 4th down. And now we have a flag thrown.
Craig Sacchetti went on a tackle.
in the area where Grimm was brought down. And number 70, Marty Milbourne, restraining number 44, Buster Allen from Millville, as he was hollering at somebody on the Vineland side.
Yeah, Rich Scarpa has his helmet off. He seems very angry, too.
Yeah, and Sacchetti has his hands on his hips, and he looks a little mad.
It's a penalty against Vineland.
It looks like in that area where you get piling on or a late hit or something.
Did he make a signal for both sides?
We'll have to take a look at
that, because there are two flags, and it looked like their signals were made. Now they're moving it down, so the penalty must be against Vineland.
Yeah, I couldn't see. The initial play was a good play by the Vineland player. He was one-on-one with Richie Grimm, made a good tackle, and then some players gathered around, and somebody must have piled on that we couldn't see with everybody standing around there.
It's a 15-yarder and gives Millville a first down.
I see 70 is walking off the field. Is that?
That's Rich Scarpa. I don't know if the coaches bring him.
Well, I hope that's not an ejection of the player.
Well, Rich usually doesn't come out, but...
And he has come over to the side.
Yes, he has.
And he's just standing there behind the coaches. It's 1st and 10 for Millville at the 47 of Vineland. Grimm fakes the handoff to the first man, hands it off to Eskins, the second man through, and he picks up about 5 or 6, took to the 42.
Rich Scarpa's going back in.
So apparently he was not ejected.
No, he just brought him down. The coach brought him out just to calm him down for a minute and talk to him, and that's all I really need.
You don't want to get thrown out of your last high school game, especially this rivalry. We have 8:30 and counting to go in the third quarter. Millville with the football at the Vineland 43 as they receive the second half kickoff. Grimm rolling out, wants to throw for McNear. He's got him complete to the 32 and inside the 30 for another Millville first down, and this is by far the Thunderbolts' best drive of today.
Yeah, good play by Richie Grimm that time. I would say if you really studied the films of this game, McNear breaks clear on every play, and it's just a matter of timing when Richie Grimm throws the ball to hit McNear while he's open.
It's a Millville first down at the Vineland 30-yard line.
Vineland's going back to the four-man front, so it should help the Millville running game, too.
Grimm, the handoff, Allen forward for maybe 2 yards to about the 28.
You see the big difference, John, with Buster Allen, who's a good football player and everything, but if you put Camper back there, Camper's a full step ahead of Buster Allen and getting up to the line of scrimmage. There's no way a defensive end should release down on the dive play and make the tackle.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8 from the 28. The receivers, number 20, Walter, at the bottom of your screen, 87, McNear, and 11, Fitzpatrick at the top of your screen as Grimm wants to throw. Rolling towards the far side of the field. He's not going to get it off, and he's going to lose yardage back to the 32. And it'll bring up 3rd and long for Millville.
It's just a matter of timing again. McNear was wide open on the sideline, but Richie just couldn't get the ball to him.
Well, Vineland's defensive line, too, pressured him quite a bit. Rizzo is out on that side, and they're double-teaming Rizzo to keep him off the quarterback, and you're giving up something. When you double-team one of the players, you're giving up something.
It's 3rd and long for Millville from the Vineland 32. 6 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Millville has had the ball so far for all the time played here in the second half, and we have a timeout taken by the Thunderbolts as Rich Grimm wants to go over and talk something over with Tony Cerise. Timeout on the field. Millville and Vineland are scoreless. We'll be back in a moment. Vineland, where we have a scoreless tie so far in the third quarter. And Millville has the football at the Vineland 32-yard line.
They had a little ceremony out here at halftime, John. At Vineland All Sports Booster Club would like to start this as a tradition. I know Millville does it all the time. And what they did was to call out all the fall sports seniors, male and female. They run to the goalpost on the east end. Then they ran and called their names out from the various fall sports, and they came out here to the 50-yard line. They did the same thing with the band members, and the All Sports Booster Club would like to start that tradition and continue that tradition, and it's a good tradition. Now you have the spring sports to concern yourselves about, but don't have to worry about that when the time comes. But at least they recognize those fellas and they're back in play.
It's 3rd down and 12 for Millville from the Vineland 32. Number 20, Walter, at the top of your screen. 87, McNear at the bottom. Grimm to throw, looking for McNear. It's intercepted. Intercepted at the 22-yard line and taken out of bounds at about the 28 by number 42, Mike Murray for Vineland.
Well, that's not the first one, Mike Murray. That is the second one, actually, Mike Murray has intercepted. And there was a little extra shenanigans going on there at the sideline, but everybody knows you don't do anything in front of the other team, the bench anyway.
Right. Yeah, I think it was an honest mistake that Gaskins made. Number 42 was going right down the sideline, and Gaskins didn't realize that the whistle had blown. He was already out of bounds and made a late hit, so that's what that penalty is about.
There again, you know, and that kind of a thing I mentioned earlier with Jim and Hank. Coach Parentazzi tells the fellas, you know, you're killing yourself with some of these mistakes, and there's our Vineland has the ball about the 30, but now they're coming out to the 45.
So the penalty will give Vineland great field position as they spot it at the 39. So after the turnover, Vineland goes on offense for their first time in the second half. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the Fighting Clan comes out with number 11, Buddy Piccone at quarterback, number 32, Steve Rizzo, and number 34, Ron Rogers, the backs, split behind Piccone. 1st and 10 from the 39. And the handoff, it's Rizzo, comes straight ahead to about the 42.
You may have noticed he sort of was standing up straight. He just kept moving his legs, and the pile just moved out with him. And according to the program, he's 185, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was just sheer power because he was hit right at the line of scrimmage. And as you said, Tony, the whole line just moved forward three yards with Rizzo's power.
2nd down and 7 after a gain of 3 by Rizzo. From the 42 for Vineland. Piccone, the handoff, it's Rogers, fights his way forward, close to a 1st down near midfield.
I noticed that Millville's linebackers are back in a little bit tighter than they were, and that time McConnell blitzed up in there, but he ran right past the halfback. You know, if he's going to blitz, he ought to blitz right at the dive man.
Well, I got the measure for this 1st down. We go right foot, left foot again, and how they put the ball down.
They stretch the chains out.
Looks like he made it.
And it looks like Vineland has a 1st down. They do. 1st down just shy of midfield for the Fighting Clan.
Rogers, the 1st half, carried the ball 13 times. He had 103 yards. And Rizzo carried 11 times, had 59 yards. And that's a lot of yards when the other team has only made 51 altogether.
1st and 10 for Vineland from their own 49. Piccone to Rogers, comes forward inside Millville territory to about the 47. He's brought down there by number 64, Bob Falver.
Yeah, good play by the middle guard, Falver, and now Falver's going to get a break, and Rich Wilden comes in to replace him.
Yeah, the crazy thing about football, though, you look at the statistics, and Vineland had the statistics, and the score is 0-0.
My favorite quote on that, Charlie Winter, when he coached the Jets, said, "Statistics are like a loose woman. Once you get hold of them, you can do anything you want with them." He said it's the scoreboard that counts.
That's right.
2nd and 7 from the 48 of Millville. Piccone, the handoff. Rogers fights inside the 45 to about the 42, and he'll be close to another Vineland 1st down.
He is tough, and as you saw in the 1st half, he can also go around to the outside.
Yeah, I think what those stats mean, to me at least, is that Vineland is the type of team that'll just keep coming at you, and they'll wear you down eventually.
Well, the Vineland fans probably get tired of hearing me talk about my favorite game with the 1st downs, and that's the Bears and the Redskins in the championship game, and the Bears won 73-0, and Washington had more 1st downs.
That's interesting. I didn't know that about that game. It's 3rd and short yardage. Piccone, the handoff to Rizzo, goes forward. He's got the 1st down as he takes it inside the 40-yard line.
And Millville needs a little inspirational leadership out there right now. McConnell and the more they have to spark this team up. They just can't allow Vineland to go march right on down the field for 65 yards for a score.
I think this is where they really miss Sorrentino at this point because he's so emotional out there and can fire them up. 1st and 10 from the 39 of Millville for Vineland. Piccone He didn't get the handoff. We've got flags. It looks like Millville had jumped.
Yeah.
Came forward, came blitzing in there as one of the players was 44, Buster Allen, and also in there 84, Scott McConnell. And it's against Vineland, so that will move the Klan back as they